Martin Luther King on I Have a Dream speech, rhetorical analysis by Tatiana Ehlers. In his speech, Martin Luther King Jr. spoke out against slavery. He spoke for racial equality and the unalienable rights to be given to African Americans as they were to white people. Martin Luther King starts off his speech with the ethos, and then for the rest of the speech, he goes to logos. For the rhetorical figures that Martin Luther King uses is climax, metaphors, amplification, and parallelism. This speech is also a persuasive speech to help the African Americans get their rights in the civil rights movement. This is Martin Luther King Jr. giving his I Have a Dream speech at the Lincoln Memorial. In the quote, "With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood," is an example of King using metaphors. The jangling discords of our nation means how the African Americans get forced into slavery and getting beaten and not having equal rights as the white people, which is what started the civil rights movement. The beautiful symphony of brotherhood means that if everybody works hard enough towards one goal, it'll change from the blacks being forced into slavery to everybody equal and having equality for everyone, and all civil rights are given to everybody.
With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
The next quote I'm going to use is a longer one. At some point in Martin Luther King's speech, he says, there are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied. As long as the Negro is victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality, we can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with fatigue, travel, cannot gain lodging in motels of the highways and hotels of the city. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by a sign stating, "For whites only." We cannot be satisfied as long as Negroes in Mississippi cannot vote and Negroes in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. The part in there that was the climax was no, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied till justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Meaning that the repeating of "we are not satisfied" was trying to drive home the point that they will never be satisfied until they have equal rights as everybody else, that blacks and whites are equal, not just saying that they are equal and then they still get treated like slaves. The next quote I'm going to use from King's speech is this: "America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds." This means that even though the check of civil rights and freedom is given to the blacks, when they go to cash in that check to become free, it comes back as insufficient funds, meaning that they're not allowed out because they don't have the correct and proper items to be free, because they've been handed cards from fate that won't allow them to become free people. That quote was an example of amplification. Amplification is another rhetorical figure like climax, where they repeat words to give a stronger attitude about the quote. Like the Negro people, a bad check, a check which came back marked as insufficient funds, is repeating the same thing to make a point. The final quote I will be using from King's speech, I Have a Dream, is: "We will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, and to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together." This is an example of parallelism. It's a rhyme and a rhythm that makes people remember what happens. This rhyme and rhythm is work together, pray together, to struggle together, and to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together. And what King is trying to say there was, even though we don't have many things that everybody else have, we have unity and we have everybody here working together for a common goal, meaning we will do this together no matter what other people say. In this image, there's a quote from King that reads, "I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal." This is my works cited page coming right after this. Thank you for being such a great audience and watching my speech. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions or comments about this speech, please let me know and post a comment below. Bye!